We all have that spot in our house that is just messy. We try to organize it and it just ends up looking embarrassing like this. Well, there might be a reason for that. So I'm going to declutter this space that is incredibly embarrassing, and we're going to talk more about what you should almost never keep. So these bins and baskets I bought thinking that they would help, when in reality, they are actually the very problem that we are going to discuss today. Bins and baskets can lead to a host of problems. For example, as you can see, there are several different things in these baskets, and there's just no end. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna declutter this area. I am very excited. Now I have my bins. Today I'm using 3, sometimes I use 4. I am using 1 for garbage, 1 for recycling, and 1 to put things back in a different spot of the house. Now, usually I use 4. The 4th one is when we are going to donate something or sell it. I don't know if that's going to happen today, and I also only had 3 bins available, so whatever. I will also be asking myself the following questions. Does this add value to my life or anybody else in the house's life? As in, do I use it? And is it valuable? As in, do I enjoy it? You know, as in, right? Yeah. Or would I buy it again? Because quite often we're like, oh, I'm just going to hold on to this because it has so much value because I own it, which is called the endowment effect. But in reality, we don't use it and we would never buy it again. And if you're like, what is with the peanut butter in the can? It's holding my wonderful contraption of my camera up there up. Now we set up this space here for the pandemic. We have 3 kids and they were of course homeschooled for a while. And even actually even before the pandemic, I had these 3 baskets set up and I labeled it for each kid's name, and it was meant for where they could keep their homework and other paper type things. I'm gonna be honest with you, we're not exactly consistent and I don't think it ever really worked. The bins and baskets, I bought them thinking that they would help. And just like almost every other organizational thing, it didn't help. In reality, that is exactly what we were talking about today, is that bins and baskets can actually be kind of a huge problem in your house. In very rare and specific cases, you could keep a basket, and I will get into that in a minute. But first, why are baskets and bins so bad? 1 basket down, and these baskets are actually I will just use them for the odd thing that will be donated because I have found a couple things. The first thing that bins and baskets are bad about is that they give us a false sense of organization. We actually think we're organized because we have put things into somewhat defined categories and divided them up. The problem is they're also clutter catchers. We will just open the drawer and just throw things in thinking they're going to solve the problem. But then the problem is the maintenance, because quite often they are way more trouble than they're worth, because every single basket in your house is probably going to get extra stuff in it and you're going to have to take it out, you're going to have to look into it. Did anybody else have this CD? Oh my gosh, so good. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by the Smashing Pumpkins. I love it. The best of New Order. Can you think of a spot in your house where you had baskets and they ended up just being a pit that just collected everything, like a doom basket? Because we have had a few in our house. One of them in our bathroom, for example, is where a whole whack of like body washes would get thrown, or like lotion, or just a whole whack of other things. And I remember like going to the store one day and buying body wash and then coming home and my husband was like, you already have some. And I was like, what are you talking about? Well, lo and behold, in this basket, there were probably like 5 that I had been given over like 5 years of Christmases. The bottom of this basket had things that were so old, and that is the problem with baskets. We also had one that had like a bunch of greeting cards in it from years, but it also had like old batteries and all sorts of random things. Baskets are clutter catchers. So today, I'm getting rid of mine. See, this is the problem with baskets right here. I asked my son to go ahead and get me some new Post-its because I use Post-its. Meanwhile, I didn't even realize I had like 4 or 5 little packs here. That's the problem with baskets. Ugh. Another wand. I was wondering where this was. I do often end up making another pile for shredding, but that's okay. The point is that you're organizing things and that you are getting them dealt with quickly. Look at this. Do you see these little things? I bought these. Oh, there's a cat toy. I bought these for organizing this drawer here, and it completely backfired. So in fact, I'm going to throw that here because I am going to be donating these baskets. See, like you find random pictures of your kids. New. Oh. Be like, okay, so when do baskets make sense? Baskets and bins make sense in a very defined space with very specific content. So in the top of this kitchen desk, there is a junk drawer, and in that junk drawer is a basket for pens and pencils. Now, basically, it is containing those things in that spot. It is defined, it is for pencils and pens. I used to have two, one for pencils and one for pens, but they just got mixed up in both. So I was like, let's just downsize to one basket. And it is one specific thing. We also have this basket here for vacuum attachments. So it just keeps them where they need to be, but it's specific. It is not just random things being thrown in somewhere. That is the downfall of baskets and bins. A catch-all. Never have it as a catch-all, as a spot like we had been using it, where random books, pieces of paper, other very strange things ended up. Baskets should also be gone through on a regular basis. This one here with the pens, for example, I quite often declutter our junk drawer. Junk drawers and rooms like the laundry room and the garage, and often like sort of like rec rooms, are rooms that tend to become spots where people just dump things, and they actually need to be gone through on a pretty regular basis. They just are rooms that get messy. And the junk drawer, although not a room, is a spot that tends to get messy. And so when I am doing that, I'm just gonna look in this basket and see if there are maybe any dead pens or anything like that. But baskets do need to be gone through on a regular basis. Doesn't that look so much better with all of that stuff out there? My food saver is very happy now in its bottom drawer, and I can just keep the placemats up here and a few other things. It looks so much better. And then just this small pile of paper that the kids can grab if they need it for homework or whatever. Now, one of the things people really tell me they struggle with is just decluttering in general. One of my very favorite methods is Swedish death cleaning. And I know it might sound scary, but it's actually a really great way to make sure you're taking care of yourself, but also your family. And there are some very interesting questions. Check this video out here. I made it just recently. It's very helpful. And I even tackle what to do with things like wedding dresses and even like some weird boxes where you might put things you don't want people to find. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.